And of course, Mohit is with us, Mr. Subramaniam is here, and Ruchit is with us. Ruchit, good morning. First, I wanted to check with you. There is a certain uneasiness. I know technically it doesn't show up on the charts because we crossed about 82.95, 8300 very easily. But your thoughts on what could happen next? And I'm asking you this question just away from the chart, from your experience also. Is the market's downside more likely or upside more likely at the moment?
Good morning, Ashu. Ashu, overall, whenever the markets are generally in a strong trend, whether it's down or up, you should usually wait for any kind of reversal if you want to take a contra position. Now the thing is that many traders have already missed this rally. We have already seen that from the low of 7927, markets have rallied very sharply, about 470 points in Nifty. So that was a sharp V-shaped recovery which it had done from the day of Brexit. So the thing is, those traders who have already missed this rally, now they are looking for opportunities to create short positions at higher levels in anticipation that the markets have moved very fast and there is likely that it would come down. But the thing is that if you see on the charts, there are no signs of any sort of.
All right. Yeah, that's okay, Smita. I think the telecoms have to pay some fine, right? 12,500 crore. Maybe that did it. I will try and get a better line for you in just a moment. Mohit, good morning. Why don't we start with some of the stocks that you want to talk about today? And if you can just mention, is strictly a day trade or you're looking at a longer term?
Sure. So the first that looks good is HDFC. Has given a good breakout yesterday, and this could move higher towards levels of 1330 in the coming days. That's a buy with stop loss at maybe 1275. Also, Lupin yesterday had a really good up move towards the end of day, and it's broken out above levels 1640. So the next levels out there would be 1700 to 1740. That is a buy with a stop loss at levels of 1630. That also could move out in the next couple of days. I also want to talk about Vakrangi. Yesterday it slowly and steadily moved higher. We could see levels of 215 on Vakrangi, so that's a buy with a stop loss at 200.
Okay, Mr. Subramanian, good morning. Your thoughts on the market today and anything that you have on your list?
Well, I think, of course, the sense of discomfort is there. I mean, 8350, 8400 sticky levels, and there is always. I mean, just like our colleague just now pointed out, the fact that there was a lot of sense of disbelief. The market went up from 7800 to 8400. You had a lot of shorts in the system, and the shorts probably expected Brexit would probably prove fortunes for them, but that didn't happen. In fact, post the Brexit, we are actually hitting a new high. But current levels, yeah, definitely time for some profit taking. So we have some mixed signals also coming about today. So probably one could go a bit cautious, and wherever we have, and mid caps have been on tearaway rallies, many of the counters. So this could be the sector where I suspect that maybe some froth is building up. So probably ripe for some profit taking. So keeping that in mind, probably the counters which I would bet, the fact that you mentioned volatility is just, better day uses. So like the infra space looks buzzing in action. So something like a GMR infra, I think in terms of risk reward looks a decent bet. I think that could go surge to levels of maybe 17. Probably the holding period might be a little longer, but one could also keep a stop loss of 13. The second one that I would like to bet is something like an IDFC, where also we've seen some decent build up coming about. I mean, you can see the buying coming about 200 DMA. So probably levels of 55 could be expected. Stop loss of 48. Then probably a couple of sell calls. Voltas seen some pressure at higher levels. Probably that could slide to levels of 303. One could keep stop loss of 325. And the last one is TVS Motors. The auto pack has been a cause of concern the last couple of days. So TVS Motors probably could slide to levels of 286. One could keep a stop loss of 310.
All right, we'll take a couple more stocks. One of the things is that either we assume that the market is so shallow that some of the people who want to take it short traders can actually impact the market. I'd say there's more depth to the market. And my thought is that on foreign institutional investment, if I was an FII and I thought people wanted to be short, I can spend $100-200 million and basically take everybody out. So don't get tempted on that. But generally, the overall structure of the market beyond India looks weak. So the shorts may not be wrong. It may not be wrong in terms of where they think the market's going, though I can't say that on the charts, because the charts, as Ruchit said, don't show that. All right, let's look at UB Holdings. Then we'll bring up Gyscoal Alloys, Gyscoal, Gyscoal Alloys. So you look at UB Holdings, just hold that chart. See what's happening here is very interesting. First of all, the stock opens at a higher price from the last day's closing. Not only that, the closing on that day is much higher than the opening. Why am I saying this? Well, if you have candles like this, the structure basically shows that there is more demand for the stock than there is supply at that particular price. But we'll check it out with the chartist in just a moment. So that's a very strong structure that you're seeing in UBS Holdings. Mr. Subramanian brought up infrastructure. PBA infrastructure may be a classic case there. So let's bring up PBA Infrastructure's 3-month chart. You can see it again. See, again, you have a similar phenomenon, which is the stock is leaping, very similar to UB Holdings, and the closing prices are much higher than the opening prices, and the next day's opening price is even higher than the closing price, indicating that the demand outstrips the supply. Let's bring up Gyscoal. We took Gyscoal already? Okay, let's bring up Gyscoal Alloys, and then we'll look at Dhanalakshmi Bank. You know, Dhanalakshmi, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to check the structure, but it's just one candle, so I can't comment much on whether there's enough time confirmation. But let's take Gyscoal and then we'll discuss it with our experts today. You got Gyscoal Alloys? Yeah. So Gyscoal is probably a low volume stock, but it's broken out. Can we take a 1 year look at this chart? Because the day it runs very hard, and I've not seen much supply come in on this stock, and you can see that on the chart. So Ruchit, if you could comment on UB Holdings and PBA Infrastructure.
Yeah, so basically we have seen that last 2 trading sessions UB Holdings has done well. The prices have moved higher, and in fact even the volumes have increased. So I think for short-term trading perspective, the stock could still be in momentum. On the higher side, the first resistance for the stock is coming around 35.70, which was the resistance seen in November 2015. And in case the stock manages to cross those levels, then I think the momentum would speed up further up to 45, 46 levels. So one can be on the buy side in this stock, but generally, if you see the positional charts of about the last 1 year or 2 years, then the stock does not look that interesting from a positional perspective. So it would only be only one can take a look in this from trading perspective. Go on the long side, keep a stop loss below 31 rupees. On the higher side, as I said, 35.70 would be the first resistance, and if that gets crossed, hold the stock for targets up to 45 levels. On the other hand, PBA Infrastructure, usually this stock has very low volumes. It was one of a day yesterday, I think, where the volumes were good. So maybe the price could move higher, but then liquidity is a much issue over here for those who enter. Again, they should get to good exit levels, good liquidity to exit also. So probably one can one can avoid the stock for trading.
Let's look at 2 stocks, and one of the reasons I mentioned to you, volatility is not a bad thing, and sometimes if you pay a very low price, then your only risk is whether that company will shut down. So GVK Power had come to 4 rupees 20 paisa. Now either you are assuming that tomorrow the Bombay airport will not be there, or something else is going to happen, because see what happened after that. After touching 4 rupees 20, it went to 650. Actually, you would have done way better, way better than buying HDFC Bank 3 months ago. But what have we been told? Go into defensives. Stay away from these guys. They're closing down. See, that's what I'm saying. As an investor, you got to think very differently. And I'll bring up GMR because Mr. Subramanian mentioned that similar phenomenon. Are we saying that the Delhi airport's not going to be running, or these guys are not going to be a running concern? So you look at what happened. Again, this stock went to 10. So you got about a 37% return from the low points of this stock. So you basically, as Mohit sometimes mentioned, you're buying a long-term option. I mean, the worst case is you lose your 4 rupees or 10 rupees. But on the upside, Mr. Subramanian, just these 2 are classic cases where, you know, everybody ran away from it, but those who stayed or those who got in made 40, 50%.
Yeah, I think end of the day, it's all the color of money that matters. Whether you buy into a blue chip or whether you have some beaten down stock, and I mean, we are also seeing the follow-up stories. I mean, I think the story stems from the fact that we are seeing a lot of restructuring coming about. I mean, you have banks chasing some of these companies, and we are seeing some stake sale happening or asset sale happening. So all this actually coming to a point where the promoters have to act, and that is showing up in the market price also. And this beaten down prices cannot stay stay at these levels for long. And we have seen, GMR, of course, has been doing very well, but there have been several other counters. Even the JP Group has been very much in the news. So I think classic cases where, we have chased some, low risk, high return propositions, and as you mentioned, people have made some decent bets in this last couple of months.
Okay, Mohit, if we can talk about JISCOL, Dhanalakshmi, GVK Power and GMR.
Sure. So JISCOL Alloys actually is looking good in the charts, and it's seen a really good up move, locked up on upper circuit, which means that there is further upside, and we could head towards levels of maybe 72 to 75 next. So that's a buy. As far as Dhanalakshmi Bank goes, we have seen a good move on that as well, and we're coming down from really sharp lows of maybe 17 towards 29. There is a little bit of resistance around 30 zones, so maybe not the best entry point here, but once we get past 33, then we can see even levels of 40. So we wait for it to get past 33. As far as GMR and GVK go, GMR first, it's showing a good base formation and we could move higher, but again, the fundamentals are just so wrong of the company that I'm not comfortable giving long unless you want to buy it like the call option I had mentioned. So GMR, GVK, even JP Associates, all of these are like unexpiring call options that you get into for 2%.
But you're saying be ready to lose the money. Worst case scenario, just lose it.
I don't think companies will go bust, but it will take a really long time maybe to get turnaround, and you don't have any clarity on when it will happen. So it's basically just buying it and holding it till eternity.
Sure. All right. I see the only thing that you have to keep in mind about these companies is if the banks decide to issue new shares instead of their debt, then their capital starts to become 3,000 crores and 10,000 crores. Then, of course, it gets into that 3i Infotech kind of a scenario where the stock basically just stays there forever. So, then you just get out. You just close the position. If the banks try to convert their debt into equity, that's the time to leave, because with that kind of equity, nothing is ever going to come out of it. All right, Ruchit, I wanted to take some sugar stocks. Upper Ganges, Pawnee, Shakti, KCP. Your thoughts, Ruchit, because not only has the rally continued, it actually surprises from day to day with exceeding strength, and we're talking about 1,000-1,200% gains in some of the stocks like Upper Ganges. Even Mawana, where the reserves are completely wiped out, there is no reserve. It's a negative net worth company, and they're 900%.
So that's what happens, Ashu, when stocks are generally in a trended move. And usually we have seen this sugar, tea, all this sector are much of a cyclical ones. When the uptrend starts in the stock, the uptrend usually lasts for 2 to 3 years, and the prices can usually they do give abnormal returns. Even the similar is the case when the downtrend starts in these stocks. When they tend to correct, they correct very sharply, and they don't give any chance to exit from the higher levels itself. So I think as of now the momentum is still there in the, on the positive side till there is a formation of higher top, higher bottom, or there is no reversal signs wherein good volumes are coming in when the prices are going down. I think one can look to go on the long side from trading perspective. Definitely now one needs to be more of a stock specific rather than picking any stock in the in this sugar pack. So although this Mawana Sugar, Upper Ganges, Pawnee, Shakti, they have all moved much higher, but I think it's now time to go for more of a specific stock selection rather than picking up any stock in the sector. On stocks front, we are still liking Dhampur Sugar and Balrampur Chini. These are the two stocks which we have recommended about couple of months back, and we have been bullish on this since last 2-3 months. Still, even at current levels, if you see Balrampur Chini, it's looking quite attractive. The stock has potential to move higher, further higher up to 145, 150 kind of levels. So I think even if you are a trader or an investor who have purchased other sugar stocks such as Upper Ganges, Pawnee or Shakti, you should look to exit from those stocks and look to invest that same amount in good stocks such as Dhampur or Balrampur Chini. Till the trend is there, stay with the trend and ride this trend on the long side.
So, one of the strategies that you can use, if the rally is going on, it's fine, but depending on how much risk you can take, whatever you've invested, if you see the stock drop 5% from there, well, just cut the position, cut. Don't even think, don't get into this fundamental business of world sugar prices are going up. Really, the sugar stocks have nothing to do with the world price. They're just doing their own jig. And so we need to do a little bit of a jig, which is take a break, take that break, we'll come back. And I got tons of more stocks for you, both on the mid-cap side. And of course, in Hindustan Copper and Vedanta, what's happening out there? Just after the break.
My view on the Nifty remains positive. I think markets have, despite a lot of bad news, have been going up. The trajectory remains positive. So I think Nifty can be bought at the current levels. One should put a stop loss at around 8,300, and one should eye a target of around 8,500 on the index. So I'm really positive on the index. As for my stock picks, my first pick is a buy on Axis Bank, which has been outperforming, has broken out afresh on the charts. 540 is where one should put a stop loss. 560 can be a target. Motilal Oswal Financial Services, I think this is a stock that has broken out very decisively on the chart. It's been outperforming, and I see renewed action in the stock. Can be bought with a target of 420 and with a stop loss at 380. And my third pick will be a buy on Godrej Industries. The stock has finally come into action after a long wait. Can be picked up with a target of 425 and with a stop loss at 405.
All right, so you just heard Kunal's thoughts. And that's why I was suggesting that if you keep a paper and pencil, you will be able to pen down, and you'll have the limits in your mind, because sometimes there are so many stocks discussed, those limits kind of go out of our mind, and they're very important, because if it doesn't go that way, then you just close that position out. Ruchit, if you wanted to just talk about whichever day trades or other trades you have in mind before the market opens.
So a couple of stocks that we have been recommending. One is a long call in HDFC Bank. Probably for the entire month of June, this stock was consolidating in a sideways range, and the broader trend no doubt remains positive. So rather than price correction, the stock has shown time correction, and again it has resumed its uptrend. So one should buy this stock at current levels, keep a stop loss below 1160 for target of 1232 from very short term trading perspective. And my second call is a buy call in Reliance Capital. Probably since last week we have been positive on entire ADAG pack itself. Reliance Infra has already given a breakout. Even Capital is showing good signs of up move with good volumes. So I think the stock has potential. Once it crosses 410, it should go up to 432 in near term. So at current levels or on any kind of dips, look to buy Reliance Capital. Keep stop loss below 397 for target of 432.
All right, as the markets open, the level that you want to keep a watch on is 82.95 or 8300. If we craft that level, the next level really is at 80.30. On the upside, if you're looking at levels 84.60, you can check it out the chart. You just need to keep a ruler, see where the stock stopped before. Why do I mention it? It's just a psychological level where a market tends to stop. And then, of course, 8700 on the high side. So that's the range you're looking at. And at the moment, we're about 30 points away from, let's say, 8300 kind of a scenario. SGX Nifty, as you noticed, is down about 30 points, perhaps reflecting what's happening in the Asian markets. You could expect that volatility coming in. What you want to watch out for is, of course, the contagion effect, and I'll just speak about that in a moment. Can we take a look at Lupin first? Because we'll look at some of the stocks. If you have Hindustan Copper and Vedanta, that's the stock you want to keep a watch on. I'm not going to get into the significance of the news or not the news, but the charts are fine. So we'll, that's where you have to focus on. So if the charts back up the news, great. If they don't, and there's no trend from before, then of course there's always a risk. Vedanta is also strong on the charts. We'll take a look at that. Hindustan Copper is also strong on the charts. It's showing up right now. So those are Reliance Industries. As I said, it's a range stock. In fact, you could just buy it like a bond. I mean, it moves between 850 to 10,000, 1,050 range. It's a range kind of a bond, if I may call it. So then you have to depend on dividend yields and stuff like that on this one. Here's State Bank of India for you. Let's bring up HDFC Bank if we can, ICICI Bank. Look, global banks are under severe pressure. Don't underrate the effect. And if you think you have a different view, just go and look at what happened in 2008 to some of these banks. So nothing holds up if there's pressure on banks around the world. But at the moment, Nifty is in kind of a suspended animation. So let's take that Hindustan Copper if we can. Now we can bring up the charts. Let's bring up Hindustan Copper, and we'll bring up Vedanta, because the charts are strong on this one. Yeah, Smita, we can, okay. So Vedanta, again, that's what I said. In Hindustan Copper's case, it's broken out already from if you're looking at from a 3-month resistance level. Let's look at a longer term chart and see if it's breaking out there. I can talk about copper prices, but sometimes the stocks have their own mind. So no, maybe it still needs to go to about 66, 67 to make if I may, a strong breakout from its last resistance. And also it's a little choppy in the sense that you're not going to get a straight upline on this stock. You have Vedanta. We'll put up a 3-month chart on that, and then we'll take a look at, so let's look at a 1-year chart. Yeah, this one seems to have maybe another 150 or something. Your thoughts, Mohit, on Vedanta and Hindustan Copper?
Vedanta is in a really strong uptrend, and we could see levels of 150 to 155 next on Vedanta, maybe even higher if this up move continues. So that's a buy. Stop loss of 140, 150 would be good on Vedanta. As far as Hindustan Copper goes, that is looking like it's just about to break out and is moving higher in trade. We're trading just above level 61, which is a good thing, and we could see levels of 64, 65 next on Hindustan Copper, post which once we get past that, then even levels of 70. But for now, short-term target 64 to 65 on Hindustan Copper.
Okay, I don't know about, this Sita Shri Food. See, now a lot of these 10 rupee, 12 rupee stocks are running up. So, there are two ways to look at it, that you can completely stay out of the market and do nothing. And the second way to look at it is that you get in and you have a strong enough ability to close the position if you lose 5% of your capital. So if you have that ability, then why not participate with what is the strongest? If your 10 rupee goes to 30 rupees and then you lose 3 rupees, you still made 17 rupees. You buy 10 rupee stock that doesn't go to 11, you didn't make anything. So Sita Shri, can we bring up a 3-month chart on this one? And we'll take a look at a 1-year chart, because if it's a newer kind of stock, then we'll have to look at okay, so all of a sudden it's broken some kind of a range, and you can see the candles, how they've been going up. But as I said, penny stock, but the momentum's there. You have a 1-year chart on this. We'll see if anything is happening there. Then we look at HOV Services and Eurotex. So as you can see, it was in a range. It's just broken up, and also it's a high accumulation distribution stock, so you can correct very frequently. HOV Services and then Eurotech. So still not a complete breakout, but it's broken out from a range, at least for now. So we'll Eurotex and then Paired Technologies, if we have managed to get hold of that stock. Ruchit, if you have looked at any of these, Sita Shri, HOV, Eurotech, Paired Technologies?
No, among this only Sita Shri Foods I think looks a bit positive. Although usually the liquidity is much less in this last 3-4 trading sessions, the stock has managed to get good volumes. On the higher side, I think from short-term perspective, the stock has potential to go up to about 18 to 19 rupees. So I think this momentum could continue in Sita Shri. One can, in cases if one is initiating long, one need to keep a strict stop loss below 13 rupees. Definitely one also needs to keep in mind that usually when you are looking at such mid-cap or small-cap stocks in the range of 10 to 12 rupees, now the price, these stocks are moving higher because the momentum is much there in the market. Tomorrow if the markets tend to correct or tend to reverse, definitely these would be the, again, these stocks could fall very sharply. So definitely if you are going long in such stocks, keep strict stop losses just as you place your buy order itself. So I think still among these stocks, Sita Shri Foods could be preferred from short-term trading perspective.
Right. One of the things that very interestingly happens is when a sector goes out of favor, you start differentiating that they do different things. So it's like saying all car makers are the same. So that's happening to steel. I want to put up 3 stocks for you, and please think about what is different about them. Bhushan Steel, and I'll put up Monnet Ispat, or it's called Monnet Steel or Monnet Ispat, and this Visa Steel. See now, the charts are also fine in Bhushan, but more importantly, see, Bhushan makes cold rolled steel. That's what goes into manufacturing cars and all. So, these are not some Saria makers. I'm not saying the Saria makers aren't doing a good job, but there's a very different margin, and when an economy picks up, there's very different consequences for these companies. So steel is suffering from that. First, there is no research on it, and many people have just given up on it. Nobody looks at what these companies really do. You put them all together. So out of all this, Bhushan Steel technically is looking strong also, and please go and see the product pipeline. Monnet's chart looks stronger, but Monnet's product offering may not be as great as Bhushan. So, you can make your decision. Secondly, remember Bhushan and Monnet all used to be 400 rupee stocks or 350 rupee stocks. Many of them were pledged, and because of selling of the pledge, they have dropped. So there are many other reasons why this has happened. Even Visa Steel doesn't look that bad. Mr. Raman, your thoughts on these 3, both fundamentally and technically?
Bhushan has had its share of problems, and absolutely the sentiments have totally collapsed. But interestingly, Monnet Ispat. Now, if you look at this company, actually very interesting. We have actually seen some pretty steady rise in the top line in the last 3-4 years. But yeah, the profitability is the one which has collapsed. So if the profitability improves, in fact, this stands a very good chance of getting very strongly re-rated. And I think even the chart looks pretty decent. It's just nudged that 200 EMA. My sense is that this could be a decent pick at current levels. It's quoting at around 26. So I think definitely a stock one could bet. I mean, even for an investment for a short-term momentum trade, I think could be considered for some buying.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on these three stocks?
Well, as far as Bhushan and Monnet go, the charts are still sideways. They're trying to form a base formation, and I like to get into stocks when you get clear breakouts, when there's clear start of a trend. And for me, I don't mind getting in a little bit more expensive at a higher price, but as long as the trend is clear and the breakout's clear, I'd want to get in. So on Bhushan, if you trade above levels of 46, then one can look at getting in. Before that, I'd want to avoid it because we'd continue trading in this range for the next few months also. As far as Monnet Ispat goes, again, it's trading in a sideways range, and initially it should start trading above levels of 30, but I'd really be comfortable going long only once it trades above levels of 35, 36 zones, which is very, very far off from the levels of 26. So I'd want to avoid both for now.
Sure. You had a couple of stocks that you were telling me during the break if you want to bring up.
Yeah, sure. There are a couple of stocks that are looking good on the charts. So Dabur is one of them. We've seen a good up move on Dabur in yesterday's trade, and this could continue towards levels of 325. So that's a buy with a stop loss at 310. Also Hindustan Unilever. This is more like a positional trade. Could move higher towards levels of 940 to 950. So this is a buy with a stop loss at levels of 908. Amongst the pharma pack also, we have Cadila that's just about moved up in yesterday's trade after a long base formation, and we could see levels of 360 on Cadila. So that's a buy with a stop loss at levels of maybe 339.
Right. Mr. Subramaniam, I just want to put up a couple of technology stocks. Can we put up Infosys? Because there's been sustained weakness in the bigger stocks, rightfully so, because these stocks face a very uncertain environment in Europe and the US. But interestingly, all these mid-cap, smaller kind of Saxoft and XYZ are running up. So if you just watch this chart, actually TCS is close to very dangerous support levels and could just simply collapse from that level onwards. But let's bring up a one-year chart there. So, you know, I mean, the chart doesn't change for anybody else, and the chart's not lying. Somebody is selling, that's why the stock's going down. So just take a look at it. If anything, it's you have an Infosys chart. So if you have some of these stocks and you're holding them for trading, you know, don't get fundamental on them. Leave them as trading stocks. So this one seems to have already collapsed, Infosys. Can we just bring up Infosys one-year chart? So, no, I mean, if anything, it's in a range. I'll take one more, Wipro. Let's see if it's any different. So TCS and Infosys, I mean, actually, so Wipro may be looking the best out of these three if you're just looking at the charts. You have a one-year chart on this one? So, yeah, I don't know. Actually, you would have not made any money if you held the stock for a year. If you can see, I mean, it's basically just remained in a range. Your thoughts on these three, Mr. Subramaniam?
Well, definitely cause of concern. I mean, considering the fact that the leaders are looking weak. I mean, you have Infosys, TCS, and also HCL Tech. I mean, that was the weakest in the last since the last quarter results that came out. So all the three of them going ahead, and that also ahead of the result season. I mean, they will be the ones to kickstart the result season. So the charts definitely are cause of concern. Wipro, yeah, probably sentiments in terms of the buyback at 625. Probably that's probably helping out Wipro. But broadly, yes, definitely these stocks are cause of concern. And probably this could be the ones which could show that, you know, give the decisive thrust to the Nifty, and in all probability on the downside. But yes, I agree that holding on to these positions, or for that matter stocks, for the immediate short term could be a bit risky.
Mr. Subramaniam, you have a great weekend. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll bring up a couple of public sector banks now. I want to start out with Vijaya Bank because, you know, yesterday they didn't do much, but they've been on a roll. So let's start with Vijaya Bank, then take, wow, beautiful charts. Let's keep 3 months because I want to take a couple of them. Let's bring up Dena Bank, Syndicate Bank, Allahabad Bank, beautiful charts. I mean, I mean, that's the kind of rise you need. So, you know, so I'll separate Dena and which was the first one we took. Allahabad also beautiful charts, Vijaya. So I'm going to start separating the ones which seem like short-term trades and really solid moves coming through. Then let's take some more Bank of India, Canara, PNB, because here also there's a big difference between, so Bank of India also looks nice and smooth. Wow. Canara, Beautiful. So, I mean, just look at the chart patterns of all these stocks, and you have a stunning rise even for the last 1 month. In fact, even just in terms of candles, the candles have remained green throughout. So that means 11 days they're gaining. Maybe one day they correct. All of them. Ruchit, your thoughts on this? While the focus has been on the private sector banks, if you were holding this for a trade, you would have made the best money in a Vijaya, Dena, Allahabad, your Bank of India, Canara, PNB, all of them clean charts for the last 1 month.
Yeah, so these PSU banks have done quite well since in last 1 month. Probably, I think both these have clear distinction. Private sector banks, if anyone is looking from positional or investment perspective, I think for them they have done quite well. If anyone is a short-term trader, then definitely the momentum is there in PSU banks since last 1 month. And still on the charts, all these charts are looking still that they may move further higher from current levels also. Specifically, if you go stock specific, Vijaya Bank, Dena Bank, I won't prefer going long into these stocks at current level, because the problem is that when the stock went down, definitely the long traders, those who are holding the stock at higher levels, now after pricing moving much higher from lower levels, there could be selling pressure from those who have already bought it. Those are stuck into the position at higher levels. So I think Dena Bank, Vijaya Bank should be avoided from creating long positions at current levels. But other stocks such as Union Bank is there, PNB is there. PNB has further room on the higher upside, the way the volumes are coming in this up move. So I think PNB, Union Bank, these two stocks would continue to do well in short term. So if you are looking from trading perspective, at current levels also one can go long into the PSU banks such as Union Bank and Punjab National Bank. Apart from, if anyone is looking from a bit of medium term perspective, say 3 months or 6 months, then I think private sector banks would continue to do well.
Yeah, the only thing I'd mention to you is that you must have seen Bank of India is on the ticker also. There is, I think, 1,500 crore. The problem with these government banks is they continuously keep issuing preferential shares to the government. So that means you're being diluted all the time. As a trading call, please go ahead and follow the charts. But, don't think that they are still sitting at the same capital, because their dilution is extreme and they're doing it all the time. Mohit, your thoughts on any three of these stocks which look the strongest on the charts?
Well, on the charts, a lot of the PSU banks have seen a good up move. So Dena is looking all right. We could see it move up to levels of maybe 45, 46 in the coming days. Vijaya has been seeing a really good up move, but we've seen a big correction. So we have to wait and see when this correction ends. And if it does, we can see an up move levels even 45, 46 back on Vijaya again. PNB was one that was actually underperforming the bank space, and it's moved up smartly. So we could see this move up to levels of 119 to 120.
All right, so if you're looking for themes, sugar is a very strong theme. Public sector banks are a very strong theme. Apart from that, some of the steel stocks are actually doing fine, and so are infrastructure. So very interesting market. Maybe overall it looks a little dicey, but specific sectors, technically, trading-wise, looking very strong. We'll just give you the opening quotes as they come in. So let's take a look at, as I said, Nifty itself may have been showing a little bit of pressure. And if you're looking at a level, 8,300 is the level we want to look at. So here's Lupin for you. We'll bring up Hindustan Copper and Vedanta. That's where the strength was coming through. My other thought to you is that, if you get tempted to get into the stock as soon as the market opens, please keep away from that psychology, because sometimes the stocks may not hold the next day. So, sometimes we have this bargain mentality. First 100 people will get something free. That doesn't happen in the stock market. So just wait it out. If you're just an individual trader, this not to be done. Whether it's Lupin or anything else, let it first stabilize, and then we can get into some of these stocks. Okay, let's take a look at some of these public sector banks if we can, to start out with. Can you put up any ones that you like? UCO, Dena, Syndicate. We'll see if they are holding up. Allahabad, Canara, Bank of India. And so positive moves for the moment. And we'll put up some of the sugar stocks. Can we bring up some sugar stocks? Sri Renuka, Upper Ganges, Ponni, Shakti, KCP. So Upper Ganges has held up. Yesterday it was on a freeze. KCP, Shakti, Dharani, Parry. If you can bring up all of those, and we'll take a look at if they've been able to hold up. So, wow, Ponni yesterday was actually an early starter, and it's held up very well. Let's take a look at some of those steel stocks and see if they've held up. Bhushan, Monet, Visa, whatever, any of the three that you want to bring up. And we were talking about banks, so they haven't held up, of course. So there you go. Bhushan has, but the others haven't been able to. Syndicate Bank. Can we bring up Syndicate Bank? That one's again, the charts were fine. I'd shown you the charts. That's South Indian Bank. Some of the smaller valuation stocks started to show some move. Karnataka Bank. And emphasis is on the positive today, surprisingly. We'll take a look at some of the smaller stocks. Gulshan Polyols. This is a very interesting stock. I don't know if it has any volumes because it got stuck at 100 for the longest time, and now I've seen some move. Gulshan, Gulshan. I think there are two Gulshans. This one is a Polyols one. Yeah, so 11%. You know, that one seems to have. I noticed for a couple of days because since the volumes aren't very high, I usually don't get into it. Philatex India, if you can put that one up. And R Systems International. I'll check the volumes for you in just a moment. I may not get much time to do that right now. Arshia was on a freeze yesterday. Again, that stock. I'll show you the charts also because that stock's been on a real tear. Upper Ganges, if you can bring that up. And Pawnee Sugars, I'd already mentioned to you. United Breweries Holdings. Can you put up that stock? Yeah, United Breweries, UB Holdings, if you have that one. And we'll take one last one, Everest Canto. So UB Holdings not being able to hold up. It's a mixed market, and certainly on the index. Do you have a Bank Nifty index? Let's check that one up first before we move on. I think the market's being very mature about just keeping their thoughts on hold because really the only cue is European markets. If the contagion spreads, more mutual funds or property funds don't pay up or stop redemptions, you will see serious impact coming in. And as I mentioned to you, many of the banks are reeling. And RBS, I think, had one of the largest exposures to the property market in the UK, that is. What your initial thoughts and if you've seen anything on the charts?
So a few stocks that are popping up are the pharma pack. So Sun Pharma is looking like it can move higher towards levels of 795, 800. So that's a buy with a stop loss at levels of 775. Also Apollo Hospitals is looking good in the charts and it's seen a spike up today. We could see levels of 1400 to 1410 there. That's a buy with a stop loss at 1365. Again from the pharma pack, Torrent Pharma is one that's looking good in the charts and can move higher towards levels of 1440. So that's a buy with a stop loss at 1400.
Yeah, one more stock before we speak to Natasha Shankar is Sita Shri Foods. If you can bring that one up, we'll discuss that in the morning. Sita Shri Foods. Yeah, you can bring the chart. Okay, so it's not seen the kind of gains we saw yesterday. Natasha Shankar is Senior Vice President Research at Yes Securities, Yes Bank Securities. Natasha, thanks for joining us. What's your thought on just the kind of gains we've seen in some of the smaller public sector banks? Do you think it's sustainable, or the dilution of equity that the government keeps doing in terms of preferential shares is so high that you're really in a zero-sum game?
I do agree that there's been a lot of dilution that has taken place in some of them, and if you're actually looking at the fundamental side of things, things are quite bad for them because they have been seeing a lot of pressure as far as their balance sheets are concerned. Asset quality has been a big concern. Of course, going forward, probably from this quarter onwards, the rate of increase is not going to be as significant as what we saw till the March quarter, but it's still going to continue. And so if one were really very keen on being invested within the public sector bank spaces, we would definitely prefer the larger banks, that's SBI or even a Bank of Baroda as compared to the smaller ones, because the risk is just too high over there.
Right. And what's your thought on sugar? I know from a fundamental side, I've really not seen any institution get into it. I've not really seen any individual investor interested in it. But some of these stocks are sitting with 1,000% gain. Should we look at it from a base that they started, and maybe that's why the 1,000 looks a lot? And do you think there's any more juice left to squeeze out right now?
So I think in case of the sugar stocks, one needs to really take a step back and get into the commodity side of things first. So if you're looking at sugar as a commodity, the prices did improve significantly, on a per kg basis within the country. It started, touching a little north of 40 rupees per kg, and that was really helping out the companies. But going forward, any kind of significant up move on the sugar prices seems to be a little bit of a difficult thing, because given the fact that sugarcane produce has been pretty good this year. It has been better than the rest of the crops sowing as far as acreage is concerned. So it has been quite significantly good. So that demand supply mismatch, which typically helps our prices, does not seem should not come about at least at this point of time. In addition to that, all the kind of duties which have been imposed as far as the exports are concerned, that too would cap the price increase. So going forward from here, expecting sugar prices to go up would be difficult. So within that, keeping that in mind, as far as the sugar stocks are concerned, expecting any kind of a fundamental improvement in them from here on would also be difficult. So if you have gains over there, at least our recommendation would be that you book profits and enjoy that at this point of time.
All right, Ruchit, PBA infrastructure, if you can just put that up, and Tata Motors. Again, finally, I don't know how things will pan out, but if the pound continues to fall the way it's falling, you're manufacturing your cars down there and selling them all over the world, so works just fine. And maybe there was an overreaction to Messi's whole issue with Spanish taxes because I think the fans don't really, give it much weightage. So, Ruchit, before I thank you, if you have any thoughts on PBA infrastructure and Tata Motors.
I think PBA infrastructure, it's not that interesting follow-up that we are seeing today. Last two trading sessions, the stock always moved high, but as I also earlier said, usually the volumes are much less. It was one of a day when good volumes were there yesterday. Again, there is not much good follow-up move coming in today's session, so definitely one should not get into this stock and avoid this one. As far as Tata Motors goes, yes, definitely the higher degree trend for Tata Motors stock is up now. The stock has continuously been forming higher tops and higher bottom. In case if any sort of next corrective action comes, so rather than buying at current levels, I would wait for one dip in the stock. Positionally around 435 to 440 range has become a good support for the stock. So in case if the stock comes around those levels, then I think the risk reward for creating long positions would be much favorable. So Tata Motors would be preferred as a buy on dips kind of pick, and definitely, as I said, the PBA infrastructure should be avoided as there is no follow-up move.
Richard, thanks very much for taking the time to join us. You have a good weekend. Richard, of course, with Angel, thanks very much for joining us. Natasha, Tata Motors, I mean, we've looked at the negativity of what's happening, but, if you look at Tata's exposure to the UK, both from Tata Steel and, one would think that they're the ultimate beneficiaries. I mean,